This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Cheryl Ginnings. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
Absolutely fabulous.
Well, it's such a great pleasure to connect with you. What part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in the United States in the heart of it, right in Oklahoma.
All right. Where the sky looks huge. The sky always looks huge in Oklahoma for some reason or the other, doesn't it?
It does because we don't have anything blocking the view. Oh, I've lived where we had lots of trees and I didn't see as much until I come here. And now I look at the sky driving so much, in the morning or the evening. And I just love seeing the beautiful colors.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, definitely stuck out when I was there. Definitely stuck out. Well, do tell us, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
Well, I am part of the Evolutionary Business Council, and I was just recently at a retreat, and I got to know people who found out that I was a speaker, an author, and a global radio host, and they said, I had to meet you.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, they're amazing over there. Did you meet Jean Kay
Yes, I
specifically? Oh
did.
my
She was
gosh.
there.
She's
Oh,
amazing,
she's
isn't she?
wonderful. Yes, she is. To
Yeah.
be a poet and write every day is an amazing talent.
Yeah, and I believe her, right? I'll tell her. I always believed her, but to see it, like when we were there, like we stayed with her for a couple of days, and like to see the way she works, and yeah, she's up early in the morning doing what she does. It's amazing. She's amazing. She's amazing. Good night, Jean.
Well, she is doing great.
Well, tell us a bit more about how you do what you do, please.
Well, I absolutely love writing. And for the last few years, I've been doing a lot of writing, speaking, and I was called and asked to be on a radio program because I'd written about having a special needs son, and they wanted someone that would be able to talk to families who have special needs children because autism is on the rise. And I already worked with people and try to help them realize that they were courageous when they overcome challenges. And I want to know what makes them courageous and then what lessons have they learned as caregivers that people coming behind us need to know. And so I really encourage those people who are overlooked by most people, and that's the caregiver.
That's amazing. So, where can we listen to this radio program?
Well, I'm on Spreaker, Spreaker, Spreaker.com to Oklahoma. I'm on iHeart, I'm on TuneIn Radio, on Roku, on Bold Brave Media, and it seems to be out there growing. So I hope that you can find it on one of those places.
Okay, what was the first one you said? The internet cut out just for a short little bit.
Okay, it's Spreaker, Spreaker, Spreaker.com, and they seem to post all of the shows. So I've got like 130 shows out there where I've
Wow,
interviewed people.
congratulations. Wow, that's
Well,
amazing.
not as many as you have, but I stay on an hour.
Well, there we
And
go.
it's live, and if someone doesn't show, I do the whole show without an audience or without a guest. So
Wow, that's
that's
amazing.
happened a few times.
Wow, yeah, it takes, I mean, I have the advantage of having someone next to me virtually, yeah, but to carry on for an hour, ooh, that takes some. But then there's content in your life from what you've done as a caregiver, isn't there?
Right, right. I've helped with not only my son, who is 48 now, but also parents for many years, mother and father both. My mom just passed away a year ago. And then with a mother-in-law for 17 years who was with us. So I've had quite a bit of experience helping other people.
Would you change it for anything? Would you have changed your
No,
experience? Oh, there we go.
no. And, people feel like if you have a special needs child and you know about it before they're born, you need to get rid of them. And I am so appalled at that. I can hardly stand to think about it. These people are absolutely amazing Because if you work with someone who has any kind of a challenge, you find that most of the time their attitude is they're trying, and they have the same feelings that we have. They want what we want. And for people to think they have no value in life just is horrifying. And our son had to have a surgery last year, and it was supposed to be a day surgery. It turned into 10 weeks. We had 3 hospitals. We had many surgeons because the last time we had 5 heart and lung transplant doctors that saved his life. But before that, I had a hospitalist who looked at him and said in ICU, "You need to sign this DNR right now because we don't know if he'll make it till a doctor can come out." And look at him. He has no quality of life. And that just absolutely was one of the most horrible things you could ever say to a parent or to someone about another person. I don't understand that kind of thinking.
You didn't sign that, didn't you?
Well, I had to call a lawyer first and find out if they were planning to pull the plug. And I found out that's not what they were trying to do, but I wanted to make sure that wasn't what their intention was. No, but I didn't want him crushed either. If something were to happen, that was not my intention, just to keep his body alive. But he thankfully came through the surgeries and he has recovered, and I'm every day very grateful for his life.
That's amazing, Cheryl. Well, whew, wow, what a story. Tell us one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Well, I guess it would be the writing because about in 2015, I was in a book and it became an international best-selling book overnight. And it wasn't just me, it was a group of authors. And that's where I told my story. It was a book called Love, A New Generation of Hope. And we were writing about either learning to love ourselves, love our families, or love the world. And I wrote about my son being a journey of a lifetime. And from there, it just opened the door. And I started getting calls to help in other books. And one of them that followed that was called The Change, Book 5, and the intent of that was to help build water wells in other countries. And then the door kept opening for more and more. I've been in 10 books in the last 3.5 years. So the writing is part of my life. I love it. I'm working on 2 books right now. But I love being able to get out and help people. So I go speak a lot too. And it's usually free.
How does it make you feel seeing what you've accomplished, just starting off with that one book?
Well, it makes you feel really good, and yet I think I was slow to really think that I could do things. When I was young, I was so scared to stand up and say anything myself that I remember in 7th grade, the teacher had us stand one by one and she'd ask us something. And I was so embarrassed when I stood up. She asked, "What part of speech is the word is?" And I promise you, I stood there frozen. I couldn't tell her if it was a noun, a verb, or if it was something that flew out the window because my brain just would not cooperate. So to be able to do these things and to see the response from people who say, "Thank you, you've really helped me and touched my life," has been a huge blessing to me. I hope I bless him.
I definitely think so. I definitely think life is an amazing opportunity when you get to echo the experiences through writing. So many people then have the opportunity to read and listen, and it touches in places. Sometimes you never know, right? But I'm glad that you do get the replies
Right.
that you do. It's amazing with the technology as well, isn't it?
Oh, my, yes, absolutely. Because when our son was born, nobody that we were around knew what cerebral palsy was. And the doctors just said, "We don't know what it is." They never knew to tell us to take care of ourselves, which now we know 67% of caregivers pass away before the person they care for. And that's so huge that to me, it's like we need to wake up and start training people how to take care of themselves so they can take care of others. And that's why my mission to me is just so huge that I want people to wake up. I want to help people understand that there is going to be a hard time trying to keep a balance between your life, what your needs are, and also to care for other people because their demands may be tremendous. It may be life and death for them, but you've got to take care of yourself. And I didn't know that. And my health broke down when I was young because I worked myself to death doing every bit of homework that everybody told me to do for my son. And that was like 5 hours a night for him. And then to have a baby and to have another one that was in grammar school. And then my father-in-law died. We had my mother-in-law, and my body just finally said, "That's it, Cheryl. You need a rest." And I had to be taken care of for a few months. So I'm passionate about helping prevent others from doing what I didn't know.
That's good. Well, amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live from Cheryl Ginnings. You can definitely connect with her. Check her out. Like, she's on Spreaker. And she's sharing her content there. Yeah, well, Cheryl, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water.
Oh, wonderful.
Cheryl, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I was thinking about that the other day, and I think the earliest I can remember was waking up and in a church building and everyone was gone home. My dad was a minister and we didn't live far from the building. And I think my mom went home and walked, with the other siblings, and my dad must have walked home different time and they didn't realize I wasn't with them. And I woke up and I was petrified. I was in a building all by myself.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I guess because I did get scared. Sometimes things like that really stick with you.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
I want to know where I am and I want to know how to come and go and who's with me. If I don't know where you are and we're shopping, I'm going to find you.
Or can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory? Can I please?
Sure.
Well,
absolutely.
I do love, Cheryl, that many times I think you said, you help people wake up and, in terms of how to care for themselves. It's really intriguing that when individuals do wake up, I'll go back, even before they get up, before they wake up, the consideration is fear. When I do wake up, who's going to be there? And I'm talking from a totally metaphoric perspective. Wake up to my dreams or wake up to the things that I have been designed to accomplish. The truth is, there's a fear, like who is going to be there with me? Will I still have the same friends? It's really intriguing that after your experience, even today, that you're helping others to know that there's a safe space when they do wake up. And that's taking care of yourself. That definitely helps that. So I love how those connect.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. I haven't had anybody explain the meaning.
There we go. Well, my friend, if we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Well, I can remember songs like Splish Splash, I Was Taking a Bath.
There we go.
And I can remember another one that you may never have heard of, and it was, Does Your Chewing Gum Lose Its Flavor on the Bedpost Overnight?
I've never heard that. Who sang that?
Oh, so funny. I don't even remember who sang it, but I was telling my husband about it the other day that we had these little ceramic palms that sat by our bed, a hand palm, and we would take our gum out at night and put it on that little palm, and the next morning we wake up and start chewing it again. Of course, gum had flavor a lot longer.
I was like, that was the good stuff. Yeah, that was the good stuff. All right, Cheryl. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Right, I'm ready.
Cheryl, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I have, and I hopefully my children, my girls, are passing on.
Now, you said you're married.
Right, 52 years.
Wow! Tell us a secret, please.
Commitment.
All
I would
right.
say commitment is your biggest thing. Everybody's going to have problems and disagreements. You just got to learn how to work them out and know that divorce is not an option. You're just going to work it out.
Wow. Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Absolutely.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Well, I do more than 3 hours a week.
All right,
So,
all right. What about screen time? The phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
oh, on the computer, it may be, well, be pretty close to eight, I imagine.
All right, Cheryl, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Cheryl Ginnings, what would you say that is?
Be the voice of those who have no voice. If we
Lovely.
don't speak for them, they have no voice.
There we go, Cheryl. This was such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Oh, just absolutely. If you have a caregiver that is a neighbor, someone in your family, please ask them how are they doing and not just about the person they're caring for. Just pass it on, pass the love and kindness on.
Cheryl, this was such a great pleasure. I appreciate your stories. I appreciate your life experiences and how you shared them here. Cheryl Jennings, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.